Oh my god, CA did it. Not only did they give us our first preview of the next DLC, they did it with the November preview video for Shadow and the Blade. That was a masterclass tease, CA. I tip my hats to you. You are clever little bastards.
Wow.
So, if you're unclear what's going on here, CA just tipped us off to the fact that the next DLC hint has been sitting under our noses for half a damn year, and none of us figured it out. Yesterday morning, CA James posted to the forums that there are whispers of something on the horizon, and perhaps there's a clue in here with the Shadow and the Blade video linked to it. Combining the two facts led most of us to analyze the final few seconds of whispering within the video, with a few different things having been heard. So, the one 99% of people agree on hearing is bring out the Wah, which I'm firmly on board with. A few other folks said bring out the Warden or Warden of Yvresse as well, which, full disclosure, I couldn't hear at first. I also heard people say they heard stuff when it was reversed, but we'll get started by listening to the unmodified audio clip together to get started so you know what we're talking about. Alright, so there's definitely something being said in there, but between the music and the echoes, it's kind of hard to make out what's being said. So I'm going to boost the whispers up first and kind of suppress down the background, and we'll see what we end up with. Alright, so that's a little easier to hear, but now that we can hear it better, it kind of just sounds like general noises. Likely what we can hear them saying, though, is wah, is because it's just a simple enough noise that it actually sounds like that to our ears. Now, part of that is the echoes, and if you look at the audio footage itself, I'll post a picture of it here, you can actually see that's because the left and the right channels have two different kinds of information going on, so I'll separate those out and you can listen to them each individually for a moment.
Get ready for the
So for me, this is where things went from, I don't know if I'm hearing things, to incredibly obvious. When I separated out the left channel all on its own, it was blatantly obvious to hear, get ready for the wah, and as well as hearing the Warden. I personally don't hear anything about Yvresse myself, but perhaps maybe you do. To me, it actually sounds more like the Warden is coming rather than the Warden of Yvresse. However, this additionally brought up something that I hadn't really paid any attention to, which was the noise at the end. Couldn't figure that out at all, but oh well, let's move on to the next suggestion I heard first, which was flip it and reverse it. Okay, so for the people that made that recommendation in the forums, it's just complete noise. If you're hearing anything in there, it is completely 100% within your own heads. Maybe go see a doc after this is all said and done. Anyways, I'll try and separate out the channels again, and let's see if we can get anything else from that kind of backwards noise. So, again, almost complete and utter noise, though I did sort of end up hearing get ready for the wah again, but just backwards at the very, very end of the right-hand channel. I'm not sure if that was intentional, or if maybe I'm just hearing things myself, or if that is in there, but it is an accident. But anyways, turning this back into nonsense did do something, though, which kind of showed me that all of these individual clips are being repeated and recycled, but they're hitting with different processes and stuff like that and tweaked to sound different. But I want to quickly loop back to something, which was that last bit. It really bothered me not being able to hear it properly, so I'm just going to focus entirely on that last quarter second worth of audio and see what I can pull up. Alright, so on its own, it's still kind of noisy, so I'm going to separate out the left and the right channels again and play them one at a time. So we'll see if that makes any difference. Alright, holy balls, did that say Nagesh? Well, no. At first blush, that was my reaction too, because a lot of people in the forums had said that. But if you do listen really intently, you'll notice it's not a gus sound in the middle like Nagesh, it's a dus sound in the middle like Nadash. And Nadash isn't anything exciting, as best as I know, it's not actually anything at all. However, before I just completely dismissed it as being, the only wrong noise, but only going in one direction, I did flip it, though that revealed nothing new. I'll give you a listen here and you can make up your mind for yourself. So there is the possibility that it is just a really bad sample of audio, because it is pretty close to Nagesh, and the music itself does also seem super ominous, which would be very appropriate for such a villain. However, I cannot say that I can hear it concretely, unlike what some other people have said. I know it sucks to hear, but I would say wait for CA to say something, because I really, really don't feel comfortable saying that this is confirmed one way or the other. Alright, so we wasted a lot of time here listening to these clips forwards, backwards, upside down, left, right. What did all of this actually end up telling us? Well, at the bare minimum, I think it's extremely safe to say that we're looking at the greenskins in the next DLC, at least in my eyes. This probably isn't too crazy or shocking for a lot of you. I think 99% of us were expecting the Grim and the Groms in the next DLC for a while now anyways. But even still, it's kind of nice to have a bit more evidence supporting that. Speaking of the latter of those two, the voices doing the whispering to me are definitively goblins, not orcs, because it's a very, very quiet, almost high-pitched whisper, which would also fit his gromness to a T, right? He is a goblin-based lord. However, Grim and the Grom implies two individuals, so what about our elfy friends? Well, it is worth noting that Altherion the Grim is often referred to as the Warden of Tori Vress. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the Grim and the Grom is the next DLC, though there's perhaps the chance that they'll call it the Wa and the Warden, because if you sort of listen to this very quickly back to back, it does almost sound like the Wa and the Warden is being said in the video itself. They might actually be saying the name of the next DLC, which would be kind of cool. And what about the big bone daddy that a lot of people say that they can hear? Myself, I'd actually have to say no for now. I know it'd be amazing to have him, but I really do not feel like there's a clear-cut audio saying like, oh yeah, for sure, that's what they're saying is Nagesh. To me, you're only going to hear Nagesh if someone's told you to expect to hear the words Nagesh, because if you actually analyze it down and put it in a vacuum on its own, it's not what's being said. Now again, perhaps I'm completely wrong on this, and that'd be awesome, but myself, I just don't see it. Or, I guess, hear it would be the more accurate point. Anyways, that's it for this super detective-y deep dive into this old teaser from CA. Let me know if you did hear anything in all these samples compared to what I said. Throw it in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and do even more of an analysis on it later. And I'll try to stay on top of this too if we get anything else from CA in the interim. In the meantime, though, that's going to wrap it up. So, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.